I know you're prepared. So can we have some of your stories?
Okay. Face to face, now they read my thoughts. We dey talk with the young things where they touch you.
Storytelling is integral part of African culture, and there is no other way we can pass our values, our cultural values, to the next generation other than telling them our stories.
Yeah.
So on today's Face-to-Face podcast, we are going to continue with our series of Back to the Roots. And here on Back to the Roots today, we will look into very important component and aspects of the way we should preserve our cultures and traditions, which is storytelling. With me today is our dear brother, very seasoned comedian and storyteller, Mr. Pen. Mr. Pen, you don't have pen in your hand.
I used to have, but as it stands now, I think I'm looking for a better pen that gives me more money.
A customized pen. all right. Mr. Pen is Jacob Caleb Chigozrim, and he's a very good comedian. If you've been following him, you know that yes, he has something here, and truly he's a thinker, a storyteller, and also a comedian. Mr. Pen, we are glad to have you on Face-to-Face podcast.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
All right. I know you are loaded. You want to tell us so many stories. Once I saw you in the bush around cashew trees and all that. You were interacting with monkeys and spirits.
Yes. We are trying to appreciate the nature. Yes.
You know, those times when we hear some stories that borders on how, relationship between animals and human beings. Okay, I think it is time we look towards that direction to drive home a whole lot of morals.
Definitely.
Lessons, big lessons, and also some of the things that we help on, carry us through in life. So you're welcome once again.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, you may still wish to tell audience more about it.
All right, my name is Jacob Caleb Chigozrim. I read English language and literature. I graduated 2022 at Abia State University. I took the niche of storytelling because of my love for literature and natural apotheosis. So because I enjoyed oral literature a lot as part of my electives in school, I decided to delve into the aspect of storytelling. One, to preserve our cultural values and heritage, because we can't talk about a place without culture.
Yeah.
And storytelling is part of this culture. Folktales, it's part of this culture. So that is why I delve into the aspect of storytelling.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, where do you concentrate? Is it African culture or culture? Everything that has to do with the culture of different peoples, as the case may be.
For now, I am concentrating mostly on African culture because in the kind of Africa is our own, and if we don't tell the stories of Africa, it will not be so good telling the story of other people when you've not told the story of your people. So we are concentrating on Africa now.
That's great.
Yeah.
Every culture is a story.
Yes.
Every family, life, events, happenings in the past are stories as well.
Yes.
Okay. So our ancestors didn't have cameras.
Yes.
They didn't have podcasts like this.
Yes.
They didn't have radios.
Yes.
But they kept on passing the cultural values to the next generation through oral literature, just like you said.
Yes.
So we cannot just abandon it, and forget about our roots completely. So that is why in our Back to the Roots series, we are trying to incorporate, storytelling, which is going to serve a very major purpose in preserving our culture as a people.
Yes.
So
that's the problem we have with the Gen Z right now. Modern tradition has taken a number of things that really tell about our culture.
That's cultural erosion.
Yes. If our parents, if our grandparents were able to pass these stories, this culture, these values to us without without cameras, without televisions, without all of these things. I wonder why our parents, our Gen Z parents, even find it difficult to teach their children in our own language. You find a parent in this generation, an Igbo parent, teaching they might even warn you, please don't speak Igbo to my children.
Yeah.
So these are the lapses we are having. And in the course of this, we'll be addressing all of these things.
Let me come in here. Westernization.
Yes.
The religion and Western education today. How have these two affected, storytelling of African, the telling of African stories,
yes,
to our children and even generation to come? How has it affected this generation?
It has.
I'm talking about religion,
yes,
and Western education, just like you mentioned.
Okay.
So how have these two affected, our culture as a people today?
It has affected it so much because most parents believe that most of these stories that were told by our parents, most of them believe that they are superstitious. They are not Christ-like. You get mostly Christian religion.
Yeah.
There are stories that when they are being told, you see it is contrasting to the belief of Christians. You get it has more of traditional implications than that of Christian implications. So most parents don't really want their children to grow knowing these stories. So because of that, they find it difficult to
discourage it.
Yeah, they discourage the telling of these stories.
Yeah.
And then Westernization, those days when we were younger, when we were little children, every night, moonlight tales, our parents will gather us. That we are communally living, we are living with people. You see children from other compounds, they come together, we sit around under a moonlight.
Yeah.
Our parents will tell us tales. But this time around, you find out that children that are raised in this generation, they live in flats. They don't even know their next flats.
Their neighbors.
Yes, they don't know them. Because parents believe that
No interaction, socialization.
Exactly. They believe that if you raise your children in the village setting, they feel like, I don't know what they feel, but it's actually affecting this storytelling. And all
They can only get to socialize when they enter higher institutions, and where you see them is in the club.
Fine, that's why they do the unthinkable. They do the unthinkable.
Oh, it's quite unfortunate.
Yes.
So our people here, we're going to look into the power of oral tradition, our identity through stories. We are also going to look at the lessons, big lessons in storytelling, and we're going to also dive into modern storytelling. Just like we were saying, since our forefathers did not have cameras, and today we are lucky to have films.
Yes.
We're happy to have gadgets,
yes,
that can add this. I think it is even better in this generation,
yes,
to pass these cultural values to everybody,
exactly,
than those times.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
And we won't forget to tell you that the negative influences that Westernization has done on Africans, we are hell-bent on correcting some of them.
Exactly.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
Because you can see a whole lot has gone wrong.
Exactly.
Just like you're saying, how can a typical African parent think that some of these stories are devilish? I could remember, yes, just like when you're talking about tortoise and other animals.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
Trying to bring out the wisdom of tortoise. And at the end of the day, we could remember. They will ask us, what did you learn from this story?
Those stories were didactic.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
They're very, very didactic. They will ask you, what did you learn from this story? They will ask you, Chibuzo, Nkechi, Ibe, what did you learn from this? And you will begin to, it will still spark your rational thinking.
Yes.
You must answer.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
Especially when you know that, yes, there is a little prize. It could be little anoko.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
Just little things that under that big tree,
yes,
everybody will sit very quietly. The organization, everything that has to do,
yes,
with grooming you,
yes,
as a child, yes,
happens there.
But those things are no more.
That is the problem. The issue of this raising of children in this Western generation is really affecting us. I once did a paper presentation that is titled Gen Z parents and indigenous language extinction, a study of the Igbo language.
Yes.
You get, we find out that like Gen Z parents don't appreciate the teaching or the raising of their children in Igbo language and everything that has to do with Igbo culture as a whole. And I am happy that our people are coming to this consciousness. Most of our diaspora brothers who live, abroad, you see that most of them are raising their children, teaching them how to speak Igbo.
Once called me, there was one that called me and said, please, can you get me a teacher?
Yes.
Who will be teaching my children visually, and I'll be paying every month. And somebody took that job.
Yes.
And what are they learning? Everything that has, Azondo.
Yes. Yes.
The Azondo we used to learn ABBD.
Yes.
When it was ABBD.
Yes.
Before now ABCD.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
The Azondo, and in that Azondo you have a whole lot of stories.
If Ondibo too.
If Ondibo is there,
yeah,
then you come back to even the Christendom. You find out that in the religion you find out what is called the Book of My Bible Stories.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
There is no child that will pass through Azondo, if Ondibo, Book of My Bible Stories, that will not know, have a whole lot of values.
Yes. Even in my own church, it was a criteria for you to be baptized. One of the things you will be taught is how to read the Igbo Bible.
Exactly.
At least how to read the Igbo Bible. So when we did those days when we did children service, harvest omotakere, again that I didn't dag in Bible reading.
Yeah.
Only can call a beke, only can call Igbo. So these were the things that our parents did then. That I can comfortably read Igbo Bible as if I am reading an English Bible.
Yeah.
But these days, okay, home. Igbo Bible.
You have ever given any assignment to do a scriptural reading?
Yes.
I must do the two versions.
Yes.
I love it so much. If you ask me to choose one of the versions, I'll just choose the Igbo version and do it.
Yes.
No matter how lengthy it is.
Yes.
By God's grace, I am going to, go through it. And there was how the Igbo Bible was written. When you have B, they are going to write B and put apostrophe on top.
Yes.
Are you getting me? So those things, all those things, you observe them, and it used to tell more about how educated you are. You understand? Okay, so we are glad to have you today, and I know you're prepared. So can we have some of your stories?
Okay, I have a number of stories, or I learned a number of stories from my parents. Those days when we were doing the Tales by Moonlight.
Yeah.
But the one I want to do is the one that has to do with tortoise and the animals. So everybody know that it is that orientation that we had, and we got to understand that Mbembonya, or tortoise is a cunning animal. So to that effect, once upon a time, I can just see if it's be war. Yes,
you still say once upon a time.
So once upon a time in the land of the animals, there came a time when there was a very serious famine in the land. The Agoro was so tense that Oman man had to call a meeting, assembled other animals, and asked them, what do we do? This famine is too much. We are dying, we are macheting. How do we do to come out of this situation?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the animals agreed that each animal would kill his or her mother and eat. Now, when they agreed on that, all of them went into action. But the squirrel, squirrel in his mind, squirrel said, how will I kill my mother? Squirrel said, no. In his heart, he didn't make it known to the animals.
Yeah.
He went home and hid the mother in the sky.
Yeah.
So yaga zomaya lori igwe. So every other animals, and fortunately for the squirrel, that sky where he hid the mother, there is food there. So every night the squirrel, when he notices that all the animals have gone to bed, he goes to the sky, he climbs to the sky through a rope and sings a song. Each time he goes, he'll be like, "Ne to do do, to do do, ne to do do, to do do." So the mother will send the rope down.
Yeah.
He climbs through the rope
And
he goes there, eats, and come back. So while other animals were busy killing their mother and eating, the squirrel was getting food elsewhere. So at a point, all the animals had killed their mother, and the famine was still there. So they were macheting. But the squirrel was, fattening, looking good,
looking fresh.
looking fresh. So the animals were surprised. They were like, "Why is the squirrel this, fatty and this looking this good when all of us are macheting and going skinny?" So the tortoise will always do his job. The tortoise took it upon himself that he is going to investigate the source of this freshness. So the tortoise went and hid himself in squirrel's house. One night, he sees the squirrel climbing up. He finds out and he goes back and assembles the remaining animals and tell them that I have seen the secret of the squirrel's freshness.
Yeah.
Squirrel did not kill the mother. Squirrel hid the mother in the sky. So the animals now say, "What do we do?" They said that they are going to follow the squirrel and go to the sky and kill the mother there. So when they had found out that, squirrel went out one of the nights. The animals, both the tortoise, the antelope, the elephant, all of them assembled, even the lion, they assembled and said that they are going to climb. So they were now, dragging who would sing the song, because the tortoise had gone and teach them how
the song is being
the song
sung,
and how the thing. So they were now, asking who would sing. They were dragging. So they, at the end of the day, the antelope, said he was going to do the singing. So he was like, "Ne to do do, to do." So while the antelope was singing, because the song says "Ne to do do, to do do, ne to do do, to do do, anugwe buone arie, to do do, anunte buone arie, to do do, osen were na ya gezo, to do do." So that was the chant. So when the antelope did the song, the mother knew it was not his song.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the rabbit, they brought a baby rabbit who has the same voice sound, with the squirrel. So the rabbit did the song, and the woman threw down the rope. So while the animals were climbing, the squirrel came back and saw them and shouted, "Ne chabiodo, chabiodo, ne chabiodo, chabiodo." So while the mother heard the song, the original voice, the mother had to cut the rope. That was how the animals, all of them, they had already climbed to a very high
altitude.
Yes, they had to, all of them fell down and crashed to the floor.
Wow. So could it be the reason why the tortoise had broken shell?
There are a number of stories that is associated to the broken shell of the tortoise.
Okay.
We also have another one.
Okay.
Maybe in our next podcast, I will tell the story of another version of the story that affected the shell of the tortoise. But this is one of these stories that affected the shell of the tortoise.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to see what lesson did you learn from this particular story.
Yes.
Drop your comments. Drop the lessons you learned in the comment section. That's how we're going to roll in this version of Back to the Roots series. Thank you so very much, our dear brother, Mr. Pen Jacob Caleb Chigozrim.
Yes.
Very seasoned storyteller. You can see that it is in him.
Yes.
It's in him, and we are glad to have you. Thank you so very much, our people. So, your last word for us?
Yes, my last word to the viewers is if you are an Igbo parent, whether irrespective of where you are residing, you are in Nigeria, anywhere you are abroad, anywhere you are, Igbo language is our own. Igbo culture is our own. Even in the north, the Hausa man doesn't want to know if you understand Hausa. He would first speak Hausa to you. Likewise, the Yoruba man. he would first speak Yoruba to you. It is now you that will tell him, please, Oga, I don't understand. And he would find it difficult to come down to English to interact with you. So in whatever thing we are doing, let us try to inculcate our language, our culture to our children. Thank you very much.
So our people, if we stop telling our stories, we risk losing our culture to foreign influences.
Yes.
So let us preserve our culture through storytelling. God bless you.
Face to face, now they read my eyes. We dey talk with the young things where they touch you. Face to face, we dey talk